The Celestial Tribunal convenes in the heart of the galactic core, a gathering of thousands of alien species from across the cosmos. The chamber, an immense construct of shifting energy and gravity-defying platforms, hums with tension. Each species watches, their forms ranging from bioluminescent tendrils to crystalline exoskeletons, as the case of humanity is formally brought forth. The High Arbiter, an ancient being of swirling gas and flickering lights, calls for order. The accused, however, is absent. Humanity has not even acknowledged the trial. The accuser, Supreme Chancellor Vortex of the Croflack Dominion, takes the floor. His chitinous limbs click against the polished obsidian of the tribunal floor as he begins his argument. We stand at the precipice of disaster. Humanity, a primitive species from the fringes of the Orion Arm, has proven itself an unchecked force of chaos. Their history is a testament to war, destruction, and relentless expansion. If left alone, they will either consume or subjugate us all. A massive holographic projection materializes in the center of the tribunal. Images flicker, mushroom clouds billowing over scorched landscapes, towering war machines reducing cities to rubble, orbital bombardments from ancient human conflicts. The gallery murmurs in unease. The Croflack leader continues. Their past is one of ceaseless war. Their present, uncontrolled technological advancement. Their future, conquest. From the opposing podium, a deep voice counters, slow and deliberate. You see only what you wish to see. Grand Minister Zaltorin of the Vrexian Empire, a reptilian diplomat, steps forward. You present their wars, but what of their peace? What of their boundless creativity, their tenacity, their willingness to rebuild after destruction? He gestures, and a new set of images appears. Human hands reaching across battle lines to aid former enemies, international coalitions ending centuries-old conflicts, first contact missions where humans offered knowledge rather than conquest. Vortex hisses, his mandibles clicking. You are blind to the threat they pose. Their adaptability is what makes them dangerous. When they face annihilation, they do not break. They become stronger. Another alien, Supreme Scholar Ithri of the Hfy Hive, takes the stand. Their species, a vast collective mind, speaks in a layered harmony. Humanity is unpredictable. A single mind can act against the whole, defying reason. They create machines that outthink them, yet trust them. They form alliances but betray them for survival. This instability makes them the most dangerous species in existence. The tribunal listens in silence. A new species, the Zanari, known for their pacifist ways, speaks next. Their emotions govern them. Love, hatred, ambition, all fuel their actions. A species that can shift from benevolence to devastation in an instant cannot be trusted. The argument is mounting, and yet humanity remains absent. The High Arbiter addresses the tribunal. Where is the accused? Have they no defense? The silence stretches. Across the galaxy, humanity continues its business, unaware or uninterested in the proceedings. Zaltorin sighs, turning to the assembly. Perhaps you misunderstand. Humanity is not absent out of fear or defiance. They do not know, nor would they care. They do not seek galactic approval. While we debate their fate, they continue forward unbothered. The chamber remains restless. The accuser presses forward, emboldened by the damning evidence. They have burned their own world countless times, Vortex declares. What makes you believe they will treat the stars any differently? Murmurs of agreement ripple through the tribunal. Some species shift uncomfortably. Others remain eerily still, deep in thought. Zaltorin steps forward once more unfazed. You present their destruction, but not their survival. Show me one other species that has faced extinction so many times and risen stronger each time. The very fires that you claim prove their savagery are the same flames that have forged their resilience. Another projection appears. The Ice Age, where humans, frail and vulnerable, should have perished but instead conquered nature itself. The Black Plagues, the World Wars, the countless disasters both natural and self-inflicted, yet they endured. Every catastrophe met with defiance, every fall followed by an even greater rise. The Threxans, a species of deep space nomads, speak for the first time. They defy classification. When we encountered them, we saw no unified empire, no singular leader, no dictated purpose. And yet, they acted with precision, as if guided by an unseen instinct. They are individuals, yet they function as a collective force when needed. The Hfy interject, their voices layered and resonant. Unpredictability is not a virtue. A mind divided is a mind uncontrolled. They do not move as one, they react. This reactionary nature makes them dangerous. Zaltorin's reptilian eyes narrow, or it makes them unstoppable. The projection shifts again. Wars that ended not in extermination, but in diplomacy. Enemies turned allies. Ancient grudges buried under the weight of cooperation. A race that once fought amongst itself now reaching for the stars, not as conquerors, but as explorers. They are not beasts of destruction. They are creatures of purpose. A silence settles over the tribunal. The Zanari, hesitant but curious, finally ask, "Then what is their purpose?" Zaltorin does not hesitate. To grow, to learn, to expand, to survive. There is discomfort in the chamber. Growth, learning, and expansion. Concepts familiar to all, yet with humanity, it is different. Relentless, ceaseless. The Kroflax shift uneasily. You call it progress, Vorthix snarls, but they will not stop. They do not know how to stop. They will consume until there is nothing left. The Vrexian tilts his head slightly. And yet, have they ever truly sought to rule? The gallery hesitates. The greatest empires in the cosmos are built on conquest, but humanity has no empire, no singular dominion. They expand, but they do not subjugate. They fight, but they do not eradicate. Even their weapons, so fearsome and destructive, are wielded with hesitation, not reckless abandon. The first murmurs of uncertainty arise from the tribunal. The accusations remain, the fear still lingers, but doubt has crept in. The High Arbiter raises a hand. This tribunal remains divided. We require further evidence. A decision is made. Direct observation is the only path forward. The tribunal prepares. The eyes of the galaxy turn toward Earth. The observers arrive in silence. A small team, handpicked from the tribunal's most analytical minds, chosen for their ability to remain impartial. Their task is simple. Watch, record, and determine whether humanity is the threat the galaxy fears, or something else entirely. The first observer lands in a war zone, expecting carnage, chaos, the ruthless efficiency of a species bent on destruction. Instead, they find medics, human and otherwise, working together. Enemy combatants receiving aid, civilians shielding strangers, soldiers hesitating before taking a life. War exists, but it is not the bloodthirsty rampage the tribunal had envisioned. Even in conflict, humanity seeks to preserve rather than annihilate. The second observer infiltrates a research facility, expecting to find unrestrained ambition, the reckless pursuit of power. What they discover is something far more unsettling: curiosity. Boundless, insatiable curiosity. Humans speak casually of rewriting their own genetic code, of reaching beyond their system, of bending reality itself to their will. But beneath their ambition lies something more than hunger. It is not greed that drives them, but the need to understand. The need to push forward, not out of conquest, but because stagnation is death. The third observer immerses itself in human culture. Art, music, philosophy, expressions of something the tribunal had never accounted for. Humanity does not just exist. It creates. It dreams. It sings of love and loss, paints the cosmos before it has even touched the stars, tells stories of futures both wondrous and terrifying. No other species in the tribunal's vast history has displayed such a relentless need to express the intangible. The fourth observer, a Phrexan accustomed to the unyielding laws of survival, finds themselves in the most unlikely of places, a small, unremarkable town. They watch as a dying alien traveler is taken in by a human family, offered shelter without expectation, given kindness without reason. There is no tactical advantage, no gain to be had. It is simply what they do. This is not a species that needs a reason to help. They help because they can. Then the crisis strikes. A rogue asteroid, unexpected, unavoidable. A celestial event that should have left Earth scrambling, should have proven their weakness. Instead, they mobilize within hours. Borders vanish. Rivalries are forgotten. The species that once warred against itself now operates as a singular force, not out of fear, but out of instinct. Not for power, but for survival. And when the threat is neutralized, they do not revel in their triumph. They move on, already planning for the next unknown challenge, already thinking beyond the present. The observers return, their data complete, their conclusions undeniable. The verdict will be reached, but the answer is already clear. Humanity is not a threat. Humanity is not a force of destruction. Humanity is something far more dangerous. Humanity is inevitable. The tribunal reconvenes. The observers stand before the assembly, their findings ready. The High Arbiter signals for silence, the weight of the moment pressing down on the gathered species. The fate of humanity and perhaps the galaxy itself hangs in the balance. Vorthix speaks first, his voice tight with restrained fury. You have seen their wars. You have seen their ambition. Tell me, do you still claim they are not a threat? The first observer steps forward, a being of liquid light from a species known only for logic. Yes, they wage war, but never without reason, never without restraint. They fight as all species do, but unlike most, they do not revel in it. They do not seek war. They endure it. The second observer, a crystalline entity, continues. Their ambition is undeniable, but it is not hunger for power. It is not domination. They chase knowledge. They seek to understand, and when they conquer, it is not through force, but through progress. The murmurs begin. Vorthix's mandibles twitch. You are blinded by their novelty. They spread like wildfire. You praise their resilience, but do you not see? They do not stop. They will never stop. A new voice rises, one that has remained silent until now. A being from a race that once tried to conquer Earth and failed. That is what terrifies you, isn't it? The tribunal turns. You fear them not because they are monsters, but because they are something else entirely. Something you cannot control. The evidence is laid bare. Their wars, their mercy. Their ambition, their restraint. Their flaws, their virtues. Every species in the tribunal has seen themselves in humanity, and yet none can claim to fully understand them. The High Arbiter, ancient and wise beyond reckoning, speaks at last. The question before us was whether humanity is a threat. And now we have our answer. The chamber waits. Even Vorthix remains silent. They are not a threat. They are not an enemy. They are something we have never encountered before. They are change. A ripple of unease spreads through the tribunal. Change is dangerous. Change is unpredictable. But change is also inevitable. The ruling is made. Humanity will not be contained. They will not be destroyed. The galaxy will not stand in their way. But as the tribunal disbands, one thought lingers in the minds of those present. Not a threat. Not yet. But what happens when humanity reaches beyond its cradle? What happens when the stars themselves are not enough? No one knows. Not even humanity.